We have been told our whole lives that walking is the elixir of youth, especially for those who have crossed the threshold of 60 or 70. Doctors, magazines, television shows all unanimously say, walk more. It's simple, it's free, it's accessible to everyone. Walking has become the gold standard, almost a religion for those who want to maintain activity and health in their later years. We buy comfortable shoes, install pedometers on our phones, and proudly watch as the coveted numbers appear on the screen. 7, 8, or better yet, 10,000 steps. It seems that every step is an investment in our bank of health, a coin dropped into the piggy bank of longevity. But what if I told you that these thousands of steps you so diligently measure out on city sidewalks might not be extending your active life, but secretly bringing you closer to the day when you can't take a single step without pain? What if overly active walks after 70 can do more harm than good? This sounds like heresy, like an assault on the most sacred commandment of healthy aging. And yet, geriatric doctors and musculoskeletal specialists are increasingly sounding the alarm. They see more and more patients in their offices who have become victims of their own diligence. These are people who sincerely believed that the more they walked, the healthier they would become, but ended up with worn-out joints, chronic pain, and disappointment. This story is not about walking being harmful. No, that's not it. This story is about the fact that after a certain age, our bodies change, and our approaches to them must also change. What was beneficial at 50 can become destructive at 75, if done thoughtlessly, without adjusting for the new realities of our bodies. We will talk about the hidden war that your joints wage against the asphalt with every step. We will ungear the 10,000 steps trap that millions fall into, turning a useful activity into self-torment. We will look behind the curtain of this simple movement and see the invisible damage it can cause if we don't follow the new rules of the game dictated by age. This is a warning that even the most beneficial medicine becomes poison in excessive doses, and walking is no exception. So where does this hidden danger lie? The first and most significant problem begins right under our feet, in how our bodies interact with the modern world. Imagine your joints, especially your knees and hips, as the most perfect shock absorbers ever designed by nature. For decades, they have flawlessly cushioned impacts, allowing us to run, jump, and walk without pain. The secret to this system is the smooth, pearl-white layer of cartilage that covers the ends of the bones and the special synovial fluid that lubricates the joint, like the finest oil in an engine. But after the age of 65 or 70, this perfect system begins to change. This is not a disease. It is a natural process. The layer of cartilage gradually thins, like the tread on a favorite pair of tires after many thousands of miles. The lubricating fluid becomes less viscous and is produced in smaller quantities. The ligaments and tendons that stabilize the joint lose their youthful elasticity. Our natural shock absorbers become stiffer and more vulnerable. They still work, but their margin of safety is no longer the same. And into this now more delicate environment, we introduce its main enemy: asphalt, concrete, pavement. These surfaces which we walk on every day are absolutely unforgiving. They do not absorb the shock wave from a step. They reflect it back into our bodies. With every step on the pavement, a micro shock wave travels up from your heel. It hits your ankle, then your knee reaches your hip joint and fades somewhere in your lower spine. When you were 40, your robust joints with their thick layer of cartilage easily absorbed these shocks. You didn't even notice them, but now, with the shock absorber worn down, each such impact is a micro-trauma. One such trauma is nothing, but multiply it by 10,000 steps a day. And now multiply that by 7 days a week, and by 52 weeks a year. Millions of tiny invisible impacts that, year after year, bombard your already vulnerable joints. Constant trauma triggers the body's response, chronic inflammation. The joints begin to ache. They feel stiff in the morning. This is the beginning of osteoarthritis, or the rapid acceleration of pre-existing arthritis. Thus, a dangerous paradox emerges. While you walk diligently, your heart and lungs get an excellent workout. But your musculoskeletal system is fighting a losing battle at the same time. You are strengthening your cardiovascular system at the cost of destroying your own joints. This is the dangerous trade-off that almost no one talks about. You are waging a war against asphalt without even knowing it. But this is only half the story. The other equally dangerous problem lies not under our feet, but inside our heads. If the war with asphalt is the external enemy, then the second problem is an internal one. It is the tyranny of a single number that has captured our consciousness. 10,000. Where did this magic number even come from? Many people think it's the result of serious scientific research, but in reality, it was just a marketing gimmick invented in Japan in the 1960s to sell the first pedometers. A nice round number that's easy to remember. And it worked brilliantly. Today, millions of people around the world consider these 10,000 steps their daily mission, and therein lies the psychological trap. The number on the pedometer screen becomes more important than the sensations in one's own body. It becomes a boss that demands the plan be completed at any cost. The body whispers, "I'm tired." The pedometer shouts, "You're lazy." 2,000 more to go. The body signals, "My knee is aching." The phone app encourages, "Great pace, keep it up." And we, in pursuit of this digital approval, learn to ignore the most important feedback system we have. We stop listening to the wisdom of our bodies and blindly obey an algorithm. Pain, which is a protective signal saying stop and rest, begins to be perceived as an annoying obstacle on the way to the goal. And we continue to walk through the pain, exacerbating the joint wear we talked about earlier. But there is a second, physiological trap. Chasing steps creates the illusion of comprehensive physical activity. A person who has walked their 10,000 steps feels like a hero. They are confident. They have done everything necessary for their health that day. But this is a dangerous misconception. Walking is primarily a cardiovascular exercise. It trains the heart and lungs. But it does almost nothing to address another, equally important problem of aging: sarcopenia, or the loss of muscle mass. After the age of 50, we begin to lose up to 1 to 2% of our muscle mass per year if we do not actively combat it. By the age of 70 or 80, this loss can become critical. It is weak leg and core muscles that are the main cause of falls, the greatest threat to the independence and life of an elderly person. You can walk 10,000 steps a day and still have very weak muscles. Imagine your body is a car. Walking is like idling the engine, which is useful. But at the same time, you are completely ignoring the condition of the tires. That's your muscle strength. The steering, that's your balance. And the shock absorbers, That's your flexibility. You can have a perfectly running engine, but with worn-out tires and loose steering, you are inevitably heading for a crash. In the world of the elderly, that crash is a fall with a fracture. So the 10,000 steps trap is twofold. It forces us to ignore pain, accelerating the destruction of our joints, and at the same time, it gives us a false sense of security that we are doing enough, while our muscles are slowly disappearing. So should we give up and sit in a chair? Not at all. It's time to stop walking more and start walking smarter. And this is where the path to the solution begins. So we have identified the problems. Does this mean we should hang up our sneakers for good and give up walking forever? Not at all. It simply means it's time to change our approach. It's time to stop walking more and start walking smarter. And the first step to smart walking is choosing the right tools and the right battlefield. Let's start with footwear. With age, the fat pad on the sole of our foot, which served as a natural shock absorber our whole lives, becomes thinner. Therefore, external support and cushioning become critically important. Your old, worn-out sneakers, no matter how comfortable they may seem, can no longer handle this task. Investing in a quality pair of walking shoes is an investment in the health of your knees and back. Look for shoes with good arch support, a wide toe box that doesn't squeeze your toes, and most importantly, a thick, resilient sole that will cushion the impact on hard surfaces. It's like putting extra shock absorbers on your car. The ride immediately becomes smoother and safer. Next, the battlefield. If you are waging a war against asphalt, the most sensible move is to change the battlefield. Think of it this way. Would you rather jump on a concrete floor or on a gymnastic mat? Your joints feel the same way. Whenever you have a choice, opt for soft surfaces. A walk on a park trail, on the grass, or on a special rubberized track at a school stadium is many times safer for your joints than a forced march on the city pavement. Swapping asphalt for a dirt path is not just a change of scenery. It is an act of mercy towards your knees, hips, and spine. And finally, the most important thing is strategy. Instead of chasing a monotonous 10,000 steps, try interval walking. This is an incredibly effective and safe method for training the cardiovascular system. The principle is simple. You alternate between segments of fast and slow paces. For example, you walk for 3 minutes at your usual comfortable pace, and then for 1 minute, you speed up a little, enough to feel slightly out of breath, but still able to hold a conversation. Then, another 3 minutes at a slow pace to recover. Repeat this 5 to 6 times. This type of varied load trains the heart and blood vessels much better than a long, monotonous walk. And at the same time, the overall impact load on the joints is significantly raised. And abandon the tyranny of the pedometer. Instead, set a goal to walk for a specific amount of time. For example, 30 to 40 minutes a day. And during this time, be the foremost expert on your own body. A slight pain in a joint is not a sign of weakness to be overcome. It is valuable information. It is a signal to stop, rest, and perhaps the next day, shorten the walk or change the route. By transforming how you walk, you can turn it from a potential source of harm into a powerful tool for strengthening your health. But even the smartest walking is just one piece of the puzzle. To build a truly resilient body that will serve you for decades to come, we need to add a few more crucial ingredients to our routine. So we've learned to walk smarter, turning a potential source of harm into a safe and effective exercise. This is the foundation. But to build a truly strong and stable house on this foundation, we need supporting walls and a solid roof. Even the smartest walking is just one piece of the puzzle. To build a body that will serve you faithfully for decades to come, you need to add 3 more crucial elements to your routine. The first and most important of these is strength exercise. This is your primary weapon in the fight against sarcopenia, the age-related muscle loss we talked about. Strong muscles are not just about aesthetics or the ability to lift heavy things. For an older person, they are a personal internal corset that supports and protects your joints. The stronger the muscles around the knee or hip, the less load is placed on the worn cartilage. You don't need a gym or heavy barbells. Your fitness center is your living room. The simplest and most effective exercise is the sit to stand from a chair. Place a sturdy chair behind you. Slowly lower yourself until you barely touch the seat, and then slowly rise back up. Repeat 10 to 12 times. This strengthens the exact muscles needed for walking and maintaining balance. Wall push-ups, calf raises, exercises with light dumbbells, or even water bottles. All of these help to stop muscle wasting. The second element is balance exercises. Balance is a use it or lose it skill. It deteriorates with age if not intentionally trained. It is poor balance, not just weakness, that is the cause of most falls. Balance training is your most reliable insurance against fractures. And this is also simple. Your best friend here is the kitchen counter or the back of a sturdy chair. Stand next to it, holding on with one hand, and try to stand on one leg for 15 to 20 seconds. Then switch legs. When you feel more confident, try doing it by just lightly touching the support with your fingertips. Simply walking in a straight line, placing the heel of one foot directly in front of the toe of the other. It's excellent training for coordination and the balance. And the third final element is flexibility. Strength without flexibility leads to stiffness. Mobile joints and elastic muscles are what allow you to tie your shoes effortlessly, reach for something on a high shelf, and turn to look behind you with ease. The best time for stretching is after your smart walk, when your muscles are warm. No sudden movements, just smooth, slow stretches of the main muscle groups in your legs and back, holding each position for 20 to 30 seconds. So here it is, the formula for balanced activity after 70. Smart. Walking for the heart. Strength exercises for the muscles. Balance exercises for safety. And stretching for mobility. The enemy is not walking. The enemy is mindless, obsessive walking, detached from the other needs of the body. By adopting this smart, comprehensive approach, you are no longer at war with your body. You are entering into a partnership with it. Remember, you either take care of your body or you lose it piece by piece. Choose to care for it, and it will carry you with strength and confidence for many years to come.